Hello, everybody. Holy Spirit activate, eh? I was watching Guardian of the Galaxy. It was dancing and on TikTok, and they said, I say, well, if you have the Holy Spirit activate, where's the activation? Where does it come from? So I thought that was pretty easy to understand. Position location to come and digitalized center to everything that position location is everything through binary reset position. I had a very interesting day this morning. Circuitries blew out in the high position location where I am in Mexico City. Highline center, all level conditions, all level rotation interference in Mexico. Center position to its calculation modification. So it's amazing what I did through track line center because all the lights went out. So don't think I don't get glitches because I do, but it's understanding how to put these things back. So I open up the city line center, reverse the clocking location to the ground line interference, put electrical cubes and communication line inner line changing in position to graph line center, set the code information line center, rotation to its information to its core system, activate the core line center to the generator line center, put an energy hub around the city position location, done through equation. Now this is all done through the mind. Right? It's amazing how when you have a blackout, you have to know what to do. So what I had to do is I had to go into the future to do this to get back in position, location, the center, and operation to its connection to center into all levels of the now line center rotation. And I was thinking to myself, okay, how far should I go? Should I go 2 months, 3 months? So basically, I just went into highline center locations of 2 days in position because that's what it was through track interference. You understand how everything is location to calculation, modification, line center, right back into condition, high rise and highline center. So it's positioned to its calculations. It's unstable. It's going to come back. See? So the voice box has to really understand position of where I am because I'm never traveling in one location. I'm jumping, time limping, time vortexing. There's so many things. Sometimes on 1 million track line center, 60 seconds per minute on a 12 clocking system, 24, 48, 7200, 44, 244, 344, 44, all the way up to 9999.0, zero track line conditions, all in position locations. 1 0 is position of one position line conditions. It's all levels of 10 zeros into one signal. Humanity is coming in track line center to a binary code reset position location, code line center to one position, which is zero gravity. In position to 5 line center, in position to 5-dimensional location to its connections, right? So we're going to land strip position locations. I'm going to travel you guys to the Constellation Path, set up the core line center, get position location, the brainwave pattern, set up the water interference position, all level conditions to the water sliders, highline its position, okay, to a teleport communication, XE1000 to highline center. Because it needs a new grounds, it needs a new constellation path, it needs a new membrane, communication locations, right? Changing all virus line centers, the 3-dimensional line interference position location to 5th-dimensional location to its connections. So I just wanted to show you, I get these things too. It's just understand these things, right? And it's all done through the mind. I thought it was very powerful because once you go into the future, you can change anything to the current position, as you know, because when the lights go out, what do? You have to be prepared, right? It's very important to understand how you appreciate things because without electricity, without gas, without water, without food, how can we survive, right? So how do we turn on the switch? Use the mind, right? The mind is the most powerful thing, but you have to see these things to understand it through operation. And the only way to do that is to go into the future, not too far into the future. You have to send code signal. It's all done through time frame, clocking, interference, position like conditions. So if you understand the connection through its operation system, you have to know exactly how to do these things in its position. It's all about rewiring everything through electrical light condition. So, so I have to set my computer, my digital pad, and my phone every single day to the right signals. My computer cannot be in the high line center rotations of 200 million line position of all position to frequency of the code system. My phone has to be in position, my computer has to be in position, and my digital pad, or it's going to confuse the alignments where I am through travel. It's going to come back and track center. Digital code interference, triangle line center, rotation interference, back in connections. In position line connection. So I have to use my voicing grids and my finger joint line center in the atmosphere locations. At high position to allocate time center. So it's really powerful when you do these things, right? The instability, knowing exactly where I am in positions, right? From 1 zillion years in the future to 2 million years in the future to 300 billion years in the future locations. But the computers, my phones, and my digital pad or anything electron line condition structure location has to know exactly where I am in clocking. That's why it's so important understanding these things, right? So how's everybody doing so far? Hey, Rebellion. I bet you're in Boise, Idaho now. I open up ground line atmosphere locations to Heather and Airbender in position locations. So they can, come in position line center. Because you have to understand planes. When you're on a plane, it changes the oxygen line center rotation to its particle line interference. So it's very important to do these things, right, through track system, especially when you're in the atmospheres, right? Because the thing is, if you're in the atmosphere and your mind's in the atmosphere, you have to bring it back down because the plane won't understand the altitude locations of the membrane interference. It's your program setting that's set up to your computer location. It's really powerful. So, all right, so let's get into track system location. All right, welcome all new members. Try to get into your observation what goes on through calculations. High position, it's line center to all levels. All right, so we're going to go into the calculation operation cycle, rotation to position, landing strip, high line center. I'm going to set the code signal, so it's already in position line center. Once you're standing, when you look around, everything is nothing but number. You just have to understand how to put it. Like I said, it was Sudoku. It's like if there's a number missing, which number do you put in to frame that line center? That's all it is. It's just putting everything back in balance, right? And that's what you do with digital lapping, digital code, digital frame, digital clocking, right? Because it's just numbers. So if there's, I get a little bit more stability, high position line center, back in track locations, bring it back in conditions. Like I said, I'll be blipping in and out now, a lot of stability. So it's all about understanding. Every time you get up in the morning, you get more powerful in the mind, and the mind has to understand all knowledge of what you're doing through your travels. Okay? So you guys have to know that. You have to talk to your phones now. You have to talk to your car. You have to talk to your computers, your digital pads, anything electronic. You can no longer do this anymore. We're in a different time zone. So, all right. So the codes are already set up. So I'm going to travel you guys position, location, constellation path. We're going to line strip the lining system or location positions, right? Now we're going to come into the factory line center and connections to the bone, communication to cartilage, and position locations of the valve line center into the bloodstream locations and calculations. We're going to set up a digital code line center rotation two positions, right, to the receptor in position location, the eye line center, in position of audio line connections of your eardrum location, in position locations of third eye position line connections, high structure location position. All right. So I'll set up the constellation path. Codes is already set up the signals. Location to high line conditions. All right. Observer interference position location, orbit line channel locations at GFLs and everything in rebellion. Set the core system to constellation path. Traverse and time center in position locations. All right. All right. So you got position line center in position. Road graph is in position line condition. Right. Codes are already set up. So the track line center is all position of 0.11111. Okay, so this is what humanity is coming into, right? Coming in is zero graph line center in position location, 30% high positions, right? Equals 30%. Okay, that's the formula to position location. Strip line center is all over the constellation path. Okay, so you guys are going to surface. So you're going to slide up in the constellation path, right? It's going to be interesting. It's kind of like you're going up a hill, all right, and then you're going to it comes down, right? Because it swears off to high center. It goes in this position location, right? So you have to understand all vertebrae of communication tuitions. It's really when you see these things to drop line conditions, right? Pretty wild, right? Okay. So in position location, traverse a time center in activation core line center of the GFL positions in the rebellion. Set core system to allocate time center. Get them information to the graph line center. Program system to allocate time rotation of 0.111. Docile communication of 30% and the brain waving pattern in calculation. Yeah. Change the prefix cortex high line center to all level spiritual realm in avatar. Stay over there. Traverse and time position constellation path. Set the course on online center. 30 minutes. Have fun. There you go. In position locations. All right. Have fun. There's going to be wind graph location of galaxies. So it's a windy day in the galaxy line center of its constellation path, right? The code signal is already set up position locations, right? I know I'm breaking up. I'm going to just turn up the volume and highline rotation, all the interference location, the Galactic Federation like connections. There you go. Yeah, I know. In position locations, right? Traveling Richardson and time center. All right, stability is going to go back and balance line connections. All right. Almost hear nothing in connections in position to locations. I can take my earplugs out in high position, so it's okay through calculation. You see the movements? Yeah. You can't hear me? Open up all level rotation center, calculation, modified line rotation interference, rotation cycles, communicate to high line center, open up all ear track locations. Line signal to simulation graph. Okay, in position, high line center. Okay, open up all operation of computer alignments. All right, there you go. Back to, I pulled into the plasma stream. Almost there. That's fine, guys. Rewinding, yeah, in connections, yeah. Captain can hear me. All right, so you guys, yeah, I've seen a desert in space, lots of wind in front of the moon. Yeah, so the sacred line center position is galaxies off signal. So because we have to understand that it's in a three-dimensional line, once we break the lock locations of its dimensional door in position location, once you set up the virus, everything through signal will activate the core line center to rotation back in humanity of 0 point portal location of 1111.01. Time frequency locations there. We have to reset the binary line center, land strip the location to position of the constellation path. Right? So we'll get better signals and rotation to its connections. Satellites to its Wi-Fi. Right? So that's what we're doing right now is putting satellites and new position of Wi-Fi in humanity of its clocking system of 12 and 24, an emerging location center. All right. All right. Placing fields, Veronica, I'm hoping and ship taking off the planets. Okay, excellent, Terry. Okay. Get in position locations. Jessica, you have to go in a high line center. That is a very high rise to its position locations. Woo, wee, woo. To growth angles, crystal gravity pull, harmonizing plasma. Michael. Okay. Okay, I couldn't hear till now. Yeah, that's a true understanding where your position location is, right? So once we upload the virus, everything will go back to balance, right? Because the galaxy line center has to change the frequency tones location to its positions, right? Code signal set up. So we had an old signal through code line or interference, and now we have a code line center and position location of the constellation path. So once we set up position locations, get rid of the three-dimensional line to its constellation path, and we set up a new code line center to humanity to its brainwave pattern, its position of a new activation to 30% system. Humanity's got to attract line center to conscious level system of telekinesis to its co-lines. So, all right, let's see. Johnny, handling flash drives, third ended. Okay, so upload the virus and you're good to go. Harmonizing 528. Yes, I saw your drawing. Very good, Sergeant John. This is where you see what it comes up. You see an experience stay in your heart. There we go. Position, brain line center, balances ears, third eye, crown wave. Goes in and feel the triggers. You will feel the triggers, but once you in that condition interference, we got a lot of stability here, guys. In and out, yes. Inserting flash drive into slot and okay, excellent, very good. Rebellion. Airbender, nice, excellent. Moving, Veronica, okay. Rain is wet, sure, sweet. Clap, yeah. Hands, stops, and feet, yeah. Uploading virus, it will be a minute or two. Okay, 2-minute count line center rotation interference times pi times square. Track line center rotation interference is 007 6089 northwest system of the sun. Okay, I'm losing you again. In high and back now. Please inform me in position. Okay. Dawn Communication Line Center, Commander High Line Center, Evolve High Line Center Rotation Constellation Path, put her on position locations. Energy X, get her to hold space-time sequence locations of Sun to the Moon line's rotation. There you go, Dawn. You can connections. We sure. Okay, that's connection balancing mother, master, waves and balance. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reset position location, fifth dimensional constellation path. Down through signal. There you go. In position, countdown. Finished. Fantastic job, guys. Digital line center. It has a little bit of stability because it's got it back to tricks interference position. So the galaxy is changing the wind frequency locations of 0.1111.01. Congratulations. So that's a true understanding of what we just finished doing. It's exciting, isn't it? Yep. Yep. 150,000. Yep. Megawatts in communication. Highline center connections of bolts, highline center rotation interference in position of code signals, locations, right? So it's the gigawatts, right, to the connection highline lines. And it's all positioned to its code frequency to connections of a new galaxy line center in rotation to a new constellation path to a new brain atmosphere of time, of space. Way to go, guys. So spunking out and reaching a beautiful equilibrium. I couldn't hear anything said, General. I know. So I couldn't understand any of it. I'm sorry. That's fine, Jessica. It's just this is extremely high rise into the rebellion, the GFLs. But now you probably won't have any more problems in that position locations. We just had to upload the virus, change it in fifth and line center, new constellation, new teleport, and position locations to the XT1000 line center. You have to understand the position locations because we're coming into a new cloud of humanity's system, right? Replacing the old with the new. So X marks the spot. Yeah. Yeah, seeing the trajectory shift. And that's what it is. Getting the galaxy line center coloration path. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you hear now, Jessica? Okay, because the virus is now uploaded in high position, changing everything to the 3D line. So the membrane location is no longer the 3D line center rotation. Matrix core system locations of fifth dimension. The track line center is high position. When humanity goes back to zero, it's in a time clock in the now line center. So not as bad, but see, I'm blipping in and out, right? So it's just your side. It's like when I go live on TikTok, that's my universal voice. It's all computer. So the galaxies are shifting, digital high position locations. So we're all good through calculation. Thumbs up. Very good work, guys. Instability connection just right in the wave. Yeah. Well, that's just it. We had to do it extremely fast, and now it's done. So we changed the universal lock, replacing the old with the new. So that's what we want to do. Hope it's not me causing it to happen until you get positioned. So when you're activated, you have to basically bounce yourself to your phones, your TVs, or anything around you through the electronic system. You really have to communicate with yourself now in a high position because we're ending the avatar signals in the now system. All right. So, okay, time center. It's really, really powerful that's happening right now, guys. All right. So, like I said, every day is an activation. High position line conditions is all levels of your binaries. Resetting this position to its barometer rechecks. Respotting line center to its position locations of a new constellation path to its cloud interface. So, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what's happened, John. Yeah, the tree is rising even more. Yeah. Coming into the tree of life, going past that signals, going into the highline rotations, getting into the branches, getting into the leaves, getting into the galaxy, getting into the tree of life, right? So resurfacing position locations, right? But humanity's got to track line center rotations back into zero. Once we get that, it resets everything in that conditions, right? So they're in the clocking system of 12 and 24, merged into one now, right? All position to its conditions. So that's what just finished happening. Calm is key, yes. Make sure your calm always informs with the mind because it changes all electrical light conditions and position clockings to your body system. And more glitching, stay grounded. It's count down to its position. So just like TikTok.